Are you serious? Plarium, we just finished. We didn't even finish Tholin. We already have a new fusion announced. What is going on? How am I supposed? I don't even have energy to continue doing the current events that we have going on. I have no energy. I have nothing. I'm spent. I go to bed at night. I dream of energy. I'm like, oh, energy, please, on my account. Oh, thank you so much energy. And we have this way. Okay, we got a new fusion coming. I shouldn't complain. I should be grateful that they're putting, and I am grateful that they're putting new content in the game on a regular basis. Very often we have a new fusion. There are a lot of other games that are just like, yay, it's another month. You got nothing new. Enjoy that. So we have new units. We just got, every month we have new stuff. Anyway, let's take a look. They just dropped this teaser today. It says Titus opposes hordes of chaos. New fusion, Raid Shadow Legends lore, hashtag shorts, hashtag teaser. I'm gonna stop talking. Oh, jeez. Hashtag teaser. I feel like you can go through and like nitpick all of the different things, or I dissect all the different things rather, on all these little teaser trailers. Looks pretty cool. What faction though? What faction? Very cool. I don't think they said what faction. Did they? No, they didn't say what faction. I know what the what the Raid Shadow Legends logo looks like. Can we dissect to figure out what faction this is going to be? Hold on. I think we can figure out. Very cool looking. Really nice looking sword. He's got all the different embellishments and everything. Let's take a look and let's see. Because I think he actually matches, and his little ears match another unit in the game. I'm here trying to deduce what faction he's probably going to be in. I'm like, he looks like Septimus and Cataphract and Vanguard, so he's probably going to be in Bannerlords. And then I'm like, oh yeah, Hell Hades got a thing on him on the website. So of course, we already kind of know what everything's going to be on him. So let's take a look. Titus Black Plume. Oh, I'm sorry, Tita's Black Plume. I like this one more. Thanks, Hell Hades. I'm going to use this every single time I talk about him. Tita's Black Plume. Let's get started. Raid Shadow Legends surprise Void Legendary Fusion. Not just any champions. Tita's Black. It's supposed to be Titus, but you know I'm never going to say that again. Unique blend of protection, counter control, team-wide utility that could make him stand out in both PvP and PvE. The first Void Legendary Fusion in years, making a potentially rare opportunity for long-term value. Let's break down what makes Titas Black Plume special, how his abilities work, and whether... Wait a second, he's got a one-word last name, and then he's got a two-word last name. Hell Hades like, yeah, I just had AI to make this. How his abilities work and whether he's going for... July 3rd, fusion date, mixed fusion fragments for 4 epics to fuse the legendary. That one feels a little bit easier if they give enough extra resources, I feel. But, you know, the Ishiyama was a little bit extra resources, which I appreciate. Banner Lords, Affinity Void, defense-based legendary. What do we have? Skill 1 attacks 1 enemy. There's so many ads on this website. Oh my god. I tried blocking them from what you guys could see. But, by the way, don't use this. What is this banner? Star Strong 2 free epics? Get on my level. We got 4 free epics on the QR code above. See, of course I had to do a promo. Of course. Ravenblade attacks 1... Ravenblade attacks 1 enemy at 40% chance. I think that's funny because I was like, oh, I'm blocking all the ads. Let me give you guys another ad. Block them just to put another ad in their place. 40% chance of placing a block active skills for 2 turns. Effect cannot be resisted if this champion is under a shield buff. Whenever an ally counterattacks, teams up with 2 allies to attack. Whenever an ally counterattacks, teams up with allies to attack or instantly activates a skill. Also has a 40% chance to place a block active skills for 2 turns on target enemy. If there are multiple champions on the team with a skill, only one will activate. This is kind of interesting, especially since the Plarium Rewards program gives you an epic as part of that. So an epic that has, well, it's not a counterattack. That's a team up. We got plenty of counterattacks though. So Definitely a unit that has synergies with counterattacks. As I'm like already wrong. Student of War, cooldown 5 turns. Attacks 1 enemy attack is always critical if the champion is under a shield buff. This attack also gains a damage boost equal to the value of the shield. Removes all debuffs from all allies if the target is killed. If the target, it's conditional though. If the target survives, place a provoke buff on all enemies for 1 turn instead. This effect cannot be resisted if the champion is under a shield buff. Okay, I'm not crazy about that one. Androx Confidant. 50% ally protection buff, 50% increased attack buff, and a 30% increased speed buff on a single ally for 2 turns. Also fills that ally's turn meter by 40%. Instantly activates the skill at the end of the ally's turn that has no buffs, and their HP is lower than 100%. If there are multiple champions on the team with skill, only one will activate. Hold on. Instantly activates the skill at the end of an ally's turn if that ally has no buffs and their HP is lower than 100%. But it goes on cooldown, so you can't just keep doing that over and over and over and over again. Because that could be OP. That could be OP. That could have some nice synergy that I'm not seeing. Or that I'm kind of seeing. So unit takes a turn. If their HP is lower... Well, if they have no buffs and their HP is lower than 100%. That could be interesting with a unit on well, if it's on speed, like if it's super fast unit, then it's gonna have 100% HP if it takes turn 1. So I guess that, never mind there, never mind. But I think there's some kind of synergy that I'm not seeing that could be really strong there. For Lord and Land passive, each time an enemy hits an ally, that ally's next attack will deal 10% more damage for each hit they take, stacks up to 100%. Damage increase resets after that ally deals damage. That could be really strong too. I'm not excited about the skill 1 and 2. I don't know the multiplier though. Could be super. I mean, if it's a good multiplier, that's a different story. But I don't know, conditional. Although no, I do like the skill 1 because it's got you just put it with a counterattack team, and he continues to attack with it. I'm trying to convince myself to not need to do the fusion, but he's cool looking. Void HP in all battles by 40%. He looks very cool. I'll give him that. Too unique to skip without consideration. Because he's a void, of course. Layered with conditional mechanics. Yes, that's kind of the issue. That rewards smart team building and gear choices. If you can build around him, he may bring... Like, that's the thing. You need to build a team around him. You need to bring... Like, he could be very strong in a counter team. That skill 1 gets really good. They bring unexpected value in several game modes. But like the Tholin skill 1, you don't have to synergize anything. You don't have to think. You just put it in there. You're like, do AoEs. Do AoEs. You getting more turns? Get an extra AoE. There you go. For most players, he's worth the effort, especially given how rare Void Legendary fusions are. Just be ready for a bit of testing to unlock his full potential. Yeah, this is going to be you build a team around him. Which I can't, like, we're not going to get a whole lot of value on the beginner's grind account building a team specifically around him though. So I think that this is going to be a unit, like if you have a lot of stuff on your account, this is going to be a valuable unit to add to that because you can afford to build a whole team around him and you have a lot of options to bring in with him. Aside from that, like the earlier game you are, of course you want the Void Legendary, but the earlier game you are, the more of a challenge this is going to be to do. And then I feel like you're not really even going to get the most value out of it. Although you still get value out of the Androx Confidant and the Lord and Land passive. Like that's going to be value regardless. So, but the ally has to have no buffs and HP lower than 100%. No buffs and HP lower than 100%. Would there be anywhere, like if the enemy strips the buffs? Could be also an interesting, like a cut-in mechanic as well. So your opponent, like let's say you're doing PvP. Your opponent comes in, strips you, and starts doing damage. You have a unit that cuts in, boosts attack bar, and then... Does Androx Confident? But is it really... I don't know. It's pretty... That's not... I'm thinking about it. I'm like, that's not really worth Like if they're gonna cut in, whatever their actual skill is gonna be more important than this Androx Confidant triggering. So, yeah, because it's at the end of the ally's turn, so that's not really gonna work. This is gonna have to be he is a piece of a bigger puzzle, and you have to really think through that bigger puzzle in order to get the most value out of him. But he's a void legendary, and that's why we need him, and that's about it. I'm not quite seeing the synergy, but I know that there is a synergy that is going to be there. So, yeah, I guess time for more thinking, time for more strategy. Anyway, that's it for this one. Still excited about him. He's a cool looking unit. We'll still see how crazy it's going to be. Hopefully we have enough resources to even try to go for him. But that's it for this one. Hope you guys are excited about the Void Legendary Fusion, even though it's right after. I mean, we still have the tail end of the Tholin Fusion that we're doing. Not even done with that. Anyway, see you as always in the next one.